You're listening to Filmmakers Drinking Bourbon. Hey, what's up, Earthlings? It's Brandon.
And this is Alex.
And this is Adam.
Nice.
And we are filmmakers.
And we're also drinking bourbon.
Hey.
All
Cheers.
right, cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Let's see what we got today.
Mm.
Woo!
It doesn't taste like it's from
It's not
around
bad.
here.
It's not bad.
What is that?
Today we're sipping on something that comes in a nice plastic packaged bottle.
You know how we love that.
Going highbrow.
It is 90 proof. It is Yellowstone.
Really?
Yellowstone straight Kentucky bourbon whiskey. Fully aged.
Fully.
aged.
Fully.
Not partially.
Fully aged.
Fully
Didn't we
aged.
learn from Dan
We did.
what fully aged would
It's been
mean,
fully
right?
aged.
So 4?
4 years?
For 36 months.
That's what it is.
Oh, well, there
3 years.
There we go.
So it's aged.
It
Yeah.
is. Ooh, I like that plastic feel.
I think it's not bad.
No, it's not.
I mean, I don't know about you guys. We've drank enough bourbon now. It kind of all tastes good. Like,
it's all
I mean,
blending together.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not an aficionado. You know, I know we're one of the, number 2, number 3 bourbon podcast on iTunes.
Yeah,
People might look to us for our expertise.
for sure.
And I'm going to go ahead and say that,
Our advice is
it's all good.
drink bourbon.
yeah. Yeah.
It's all fine. I mean, what do you guys think? What are your thoughts?
Here, let me take another swig. Tastes like bourbon. It's a little sweeter than some of the other ones.
Well, the proof's down.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be
So it's not as
hot.
harsh.
And light you on fire. But
It's definitely sweeter.
yeah. I mean it's perfect for 2 o'clock on a.
Yeah. I just had a large Dunkin' coffee with cream, so I think
Nice.
my palate's a little tainted.
That's ready.
Yeah.
It's ready
What
to be
is
changed.
what do you guys, as far as drinking, what are you drinking? What's at home right now? What do you guys got cracked open? What's your on your shelf?
I will always have a bottle of Woodford.
Nice.
A bottle of for special occasions, Blanton's.
Okay.
That was my bourbon of choice for my wedding, and I always keep one around. And then a mixing bourbon, like a JTS Brown, a Kentucky Gentleman for Manhattans. Yeah, always.
What about you?
Always got a couple.
I'm still working my way through that Booker's from the wedding.
You got a lot of bourbon for your wedding.
I did. Well, I got 2 big bottles of that, and you can only drink so much of that at one time. But hey, one bottle's down, and there's probably 2 glasses left in the second one. So it's that, and then a bottle of Sky in the freezer. Yeah.
All right.
What about you, man?
Well, I usually my standard house is usually Bullet.
Yeah,
It is just good. It's good straight. It's good mixed. It's
Yeah.
good with an old fashioned. It's
Quality.
Just,
And the price is right.
yeah.
And the other one I have is some leftover from the Four Roses. I got a Four Roses from the shoot we did. The little thing we did from. I got a Four Roses small batch,
Sweet.
which is great.
That's a good one.
I like one of the things I like about the bourbon culture is I like the bottles.
I was just going to
You
say
guys
that.
into that? You
for
guys
this
dig that as
Yellowstone.
well?
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool.
I've got kind of an issue, though, is I think there needs to be a height limitation or height restriction at some point in time. Like, there was a really nice big bottle Willet I got
Yeah.
at one point in time. I'm like, this is great. And I go to put it in my liquor cabinet, and it doesn't fit because
No.
it's massively tall. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to have
Yeah.
to drink this all in one
I like the
sitting.
short, fat guys.
Yeah.
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 So
Little Blanton's
All right.
grenade.
Exactly, with the horse on top.
Perfect. So I didn't know this about Blanton's, and I learned this. So there's many different horses.
Really?
So if you go to like a bar that I think Arnold's here in Cincinnati's got them. They'll have like 12 different horses lined up,
Whoa.
all from the top of Blanton's bottles. Yeah. So there's like a set amount of horses. So maybe
Collect them all.
collect them all. Per each bottle.
and then you have a race.
Yes.
10% discount if you buy the full set.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what? As you guys are sipping on your bourbon, what are you guys watching, man? What's on the tube at your all's houses and on your phones these days?
Not my house, but I just went to the theater the other day. Kristen and I did, and we went and saw The Martian.
How
how
is it?
was that? It looks kind of interesting, but it also kind of looks like they just took off where Intergalactic left off.
Interstellar.
Interstellar.
And no, it's amazing. dude, it's
I've heard wonderful things about, even from
man.
the sci-fi purists who will get into the math behind it. That's where it came from. The story came from
exactly
a sci-fi.
It was a
novelist,
novel, and the guy put it up on the net for free, and had all these sci-fi nerds and science nerds like reading it, critiquing it, editing it. They would send him errors and be like, no, okay, if you do this and you were slingshotting around Mars or blah blah blah, this would be the X value, and so he'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right, and he would fix it. So by the time it eventually got to Ridley Scott and went out into theaters and became a movie, it was like perfectly accurate.
I guess I'm. All right, I'm gonna be a skeptic.
You're not a sci-fi guy.
No, I liked Interstellar. I liked Moments in Gravity.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my thing is, it just feels like they're making the same movie. Like we had Gravity, then Interstellar, and then now this. It's like,
well, that's the age we're in.
Can't we just make something different?
No, I mean, you're gonna have thousands of movies made every year, and the fact that 5 are about people being lost in space.
And if one does well, then they're like, oh, let's ride that pony.
Do it again, for sure. I mean, that's just the whole basis of Hollywood. But it's also, like I said, the age we're in. Like we're venturing further and further out into space, so people they want entertainment based around that.
The interests are peaked.
Yeah.
I feel like Alex, you're so. You're so forgiving in the world. Like you're like you embrace, like, you know what I mean? Like you've never once said like, I don't like that.
Every time you bring up a child's cartoon, I think I say that.
I don't know. Maybe I'm a.
No, there are plenty of things I don't like, but this truly.
I don't want to be a dream stealer. I just
fantastic.
I want a little innovation.
Yeah. No, I get you, but this movie is really, really good. If you're just looking for a solid story, like well-told story, where they thought all the details through, it's great.
Yeah, it looks great.
And Matt Damon,
great.
proves time and time again he can carry an entire movie all by himself.
Yeah.
So
the girl from Zero Dark 30 in it with the red hair? Was she in the trailer? That's her, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah. Wait, is it?
Yeah, and
she's the captain of the ship.
My other crush is on there.
From House of Cards?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's good. Kate Mara.
Yeah, and she bombed in Fantastic Four. The whole cast kind of bombed. The film bombed.
The entire film bombed, yeah.
But she came back.
Yeah, that was a risk on everybody's part.
People kind of forgot about that movie already, didn't they?
Yeah, I think it didn't destroy anybody because nobody saw it.
Saw it.
Except for the director. He's done. He's blacklisted and being sued. Crazy, man.
So it was amazing. You liked
Dude, I loved everything about it. I think Ridley Scott's a great filmmaker. I think he knows sci-fi. He's just been around.
Yeah.
He knows what works and what doesn't. So he just put all of his cards into this. I didn't really know it was coming out. It's crazy because he did that Exodus, Gods and Kings about Noah and all that stuff. Was it Noah? No, it was Moses.
Yeah, Moses.
I don't know my Bible.
Did anybody see that?
I did. We watched it on HBO Now, it's a long movie. But anyway, so I didn't know this movie was coming out, and I was pleasantly surprised.
That's cool, man.
You go see it. What have you been watching?
Well, documentaries, man. At the end of the day, I'm always going to choose a documentary over a live action film. Every time.
Yeah.
If I have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
I watched, I was actually, last Friday, I wasn't feeling too well, and I started binging. And so I went on, not drinking, not binge drinking, binge
That's
watching.
probably why you weren't feeling too well. But
And I watched The Source Family, which follows a 70s cult leader. His name is, oddly enough, Jim Bakker, not Jim Bakker, the pastor with Tammy Faye. Another guy named Jim Bakker who he was a business owner. He started making holistic food. He opened a holistic restaurant. It was during the 70s. Everything was spiritual and experimental, a lot of drugs, a lot of new age movements. People were like, what is this restaurant where they, have these healthy whole foods? And all of a sudden this guy starts following a guru and some Buddhist or some Hindu teachings. And then at some point it clicks that he can be the guru. And you watch this amazing story of this guy basically become this demigod character, grows out his long white hair, big beard, looks just like Moses. All these young hippies and all dressed in white are working at his restaurant, and then he says, he says, we're a family, and he basically invites them all back to his mansion in Beverly Hills, and he says, you will live with me, and like basically they become this big sort of family, and there's kids, and it's like super free love, but it was all based on this guy, and he's like teaching them these like meditations, and then it just starts getting out of control, and it starts going like super dark. It becomes real sexual, lots of drugs, and it went from this sort of happy, healthy food place into this like, it's crazy, dude.
How long did
awesome.
his dynasty last?
For like all through the 70s. And
wow, so there were like children born under his rule?
Yeah, and there's still people who like followed him, and they're like still out there, and they're living out in like Washington and stuff, and they still are kind of practicing his like
oh my God.
his ways and stuff. And at some point they all moved to Hawaii to like Laiki or Laiki, something with the L.
Some small island.
And and it was crazy, man. Like there was like they had guns, and it was like it didn't become like a Waco, Texas situation, but it was definitely like this crazy world. And then one day he basically told them there's like 140 people following him, and he basically told them he's taught them all he could, and it was time for him to fly away. And I won't give it away.
Oh, I think we all know what that means.
But after he flies away, let's just say it involves a giant kite.
Whoa.
So I encourage you, if you are intrigued at this point, check out the Source Family. So
Netflix?
Yeah, dude, it was rad.
Netflix.
It was good. So I watched that, and then followed that up with some more 70s fun and watched Rubble Kings. So if you guys are familiar with the old sort of 80s, 70s film Warriors.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just watched that again.
Come out to play. That one?
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Well, Warriors is based on New York, specifically the Bronx, in the 70s. At one point in the 70s, there was over 140 gangs just in the Bronx. And these weren't like cartel gangs. It wasn't like the Vice Lords, the Crips, and the Bloods. It wasn't all drug money. It was like street gangs. So it was like,
they're greasers.
It was like the Italian Stallions, man. It was like 20 of us in the group, and
group of tight friends with switchblades.
Yeah, and if people like stepped on your block, like you would duke it out, and it was almost kind of romantic. So to hear these guys like talk about it, it was unbelievable. But then it starts to, again, go dark. Like, knives start entering in, guns start entering in, drugs start entering in, money starts entering in. It becomes this whole thing. And so, but to hear these guys talk about it, it was amazing. But really, the story pushes the narrative to the fact that these early 70s street gangs are what developed hip-hop. Because there was a moment, there's a moment in the film in Warriors where all the gangs are around, and there's the one guy, and he's like, "Can you dig it?"
Oh, yeah.
So that actually happened. It actually happened. All of these gangs came together at a school in the gymnasium, and they had basically a meeting, a conference where they were working out like how was this going to go down?
Peace talks between gangs.
Yes, and basically they came to a treaty.
Brooklyn UN.
They basically came to a treaty that that they were just killing each other in each other's neighborhoods, and they really needed to focus their energy towards the man. And one of the biggest groups was called the Ghetto Boys, and they led the charge. And they basically got everybody to truce. They put down the weapons, and they started having these parties. And next thing you know, they were able to get out their angst through dance battles and rap battles.
Wow.
And African Bambaataa was right in the mix. He was part of a gang, and he became one of the early guys with, through hip-hop. And this story's amazing. And so I go to Netflix, check it out.
I feel like I don't need to watch it now.
I know.
It's super rad.
Yeah. I catch up on all my stuff with you guys. I just find out about it in the cliff notes.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's the highlights. Yeah.
It's good stuff, man. It's definitely worth watching.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, really interesting stuff.
I really want to check that out. What about you, Adam?
Kids shows.
Yeah?
It's been a week of...
You and Brandon, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, Phineas and Ferb has been
on
the list.
Show.
Love it. Here's my issue
Phineas
that happened the past couple weeks, though. Some alien at one point in time showed up and did something with people's heads in a show, and it wrecked my kids' sleeping habits for a while.
Whoa.
So...
Phineas, that's a good episode. Phineas and Ferb.
Brandon knows the episode.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's a pretty
that's
great...
like season 2, episode 12. So
well, the greatest thing about it is it's putting two main characters up in front of kids who have these aspirational like engineering goals, inevitably.
Crazy adventures.
Yes, huge, and they're like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And it's a very sort of, I don't want to say no bad guy, but it's not us versus them. It's like us creatively create something awesome.
Well, there's one major bad guy.
Yeah, but then he's still, he's
But he's
appropriately lovable,
Yeah.
and occasionally drifts back to the lovable side pretty well.
Yeah.
So
Are they human?
Yes.
Yeah.
Phineas
The
and
bad
Ferb?
guy is
Yeah.
Doofenshmirtz. He's a mad scientist.
Doofenshmirtz.
Doofenshmirtz. And so he's his whole thing is like he always creates a nader. And so he'll be like, "It is time to use my shrinkinator on nader." And it's like it's always like something more stupid than you would think. So it's like you don't just shrink people, you like shrink them and then you shrink them again.
Yeah.
It's like
It's like that Despicable Me type dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's
so
written for adults.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty high level comedy. It's really sort of
works
out
on
there.
both levels.
A lot of puns, a lot of really funny
Yeah.
stuff. And then
Those are the
their pet is a platypus.
Yeah, Perry
who's-
the platypus.
Perry the platypus, who's also a secret detective.
Yeah.
Nice.
Who fights Doofenshmirtz every time.
So, and they don't know that he's a detective. So they're always like, "Where's Perry?" And then all of a sudden it's like, "Doom, doo, doo, doo," and all of a sudden Perry's like going down a trap door to go fight the scientist.
That's nice.
Yeah. So
Cool.
that's where I've been.
I think I'm gonna queue that up on Netflix.
Totally
I think
should.
you would like it.
It'd be great. Yeah. No, that's
Yeah, because there's nothing I don't like, Brandon.
That's true.
That's right.
You would just be like, "Oh yeah, I can really see the
appeal.
storyline and the appeal. It's really good. I like that."
It's a good impersonation.
Well, you are the nice guy. I mean, if there's any guy in the room who's the nice guy, it's
I
you.
guess so. I'm just not nice to you.
You're always the nice guy. No, yeah, that's why I like working with you because you're the nice guy.
Yeah, I try to be.
Yeah.
Speaking of working,
yeah,
is there
man.
anything you're working on?
Ugh, I wish. No, right. I'm on fall break right now with the kids, so
Oh
I'm kind of choosing not to look at my email.
That's why I haven't heard from you.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kind of like trying to shut it off because my wife gets mad at me sometimes.
It's hard.
Do you guys get that? Where it's hard to shut it off, and then your wives get mad, like you're not fully present with me.
I
Absolutely. So you know what I did?
got that last night. Go ahead.
So I schedule my phone on Do Not Disturb starting at 7.
Wow.
So at 7 o'clock every night, they'll still show up.
See, that's when I text you.
It just it just doesn't buzz. So if I choose to look at it, sure, you can go choose and look at it, and they'll be there, but it won't buzz to remind me of that.
That's awesome.
So it's like one step removed that it
From
won't
shutting
remind
it.
me.
Yeah.
I actually turned off my email during vacation, and
Brilliant.
about Wednesday, I'm like, all right. Like Wednesday morning came along, like I should turn this back on real quick, and maybe I'll turn it right back off.
I'm gonna go to the Wi-Fi and find a.
I always put up a vacation responder.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, I had one up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had it up, but I still didn't want to see what was going in. Like because I know if I kept up with anything that was going on around the studios, I'd get sucked in. I'd be on the phone. I'd be
You
doing
would
that,
cease to
and-
be on vacation.
Yeah, and I had plenty of people here who were covering for me. So
for sure.
Yeah.
but yeah.
So I haven't really been working on anything per se. What I have been doing, and what it is kind of a continual process, is I'm strategizing, sort of for the new year. Who am I going after? Who do I want to work with? So there's a lot of agencies that I'm going to be reaching out to, and we're doing is I have one of our project managers at Lead Frame is doing a lot of the strategic work of going through all these websites of agencies that might be a good fit for us and determining, do they do video at all? Yes or no? Do they do it in-house? Yes or no? Et cetera, et cetera. And we're categorizing them as hot, cold, medium. And so for you listeners out there who are trying to figure out how to get work, this might be something you can steal from. But essentially find the people that are doing video and then start to eliminate the ones that are doing it in-house. I'm not going to spend a lot of time with them because they already have a resource. Now, I might still send them an email or reach out because if they get overflow, they could lean on us. But I'm looking for the people who, in the agencies that are doing video and content, but they're outsourcing it. And I want to be a resource for them who can easily create content for them. And so we've got a whole strategy on new business and kind of who we're going after. And we're not just going after people here in Cincinnati. We're going much broader. So we're hitting a big Midwest run of everything from Wisconsin to Michigan to Nashville and so forth.
Cool.
So there's a lot of that happening right now in addition to finishing up some projects.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, you know what I like doing too, along those same lines, is checking Manta on a company, see what their annual billing is, to see actually how how massive, how small they might be. that'll put into perspective how much they could possibly be spending if you just throw a percentage on the clients
Where do you find that info?
Manta.com. It's public. But most of the time, some of it's speculative. Sometimes it's way off, but they'll range generally about what a company's pulling out.
Wow.
And it's useful. It's useful, especially if you're going directly to a brand.
Can you dial into like the regions and where they're located and all that?
I think, well, it might be if they're like a global something or other, it might only speak to the global, but you'll at least be able to.
It's a good indicator.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you're going direct to brands. I mean, that's a big thing. Go direct to a brand and say, well,
sure.
You're only going to make this much annually. Their marketing spend's not going to be that much,
Sure.
and then are they actually going to buy video or want something like that made?
Right.
For sure.
Well, and I also look at like the Inc. 5000 because those are the companies that are growing. So a lot of times they're growing at 150% or more.
Yeah.
Like to make the Inc. 5000, you have to be growing rapidly.
Yeah.
And so I'll look on that list and see, okay, who's actually growing, who's adding, who's spending, and where do they play in the verticals, and which of those verticals would fit my company well, and then kind of look at it that way. So there's different ways to go about new business. But what about Alex on your end? I mean, as a freelancer,
dude,
what are your
I've been doing that
strategies?
Continue. So I'm always doing that. But again, like you said, your strategy, I'm, doing a kind of Midwest approach. So I've been actually reaching out to people in Chicago, Detroit, and Nashville. So 3 big kind of advertising centers where I know that there are some agencies that deal with both regional and national clients. And I've gotten some really good responses. But I think, like you said, it's about tailoring who you contact based on the work they do and the work that you're capable of. So like me, or, whatever, I'll just say it out. So somebody starting out, you're not going to hit up, giant agency that does nothing but Coke broadcast spots or whatever. Like you can't compete with that. So there's no point in even doing that. It's about kind of, I guess, being real with yourself and targeting somebody that, okay, you're really good at green screen work for corporate headshots and stuff like that. You target the companies that do that type of work, So that's what I've been doing.
Well, and you also, like you talked about, maybe you target a smaller operation. You find an agency that's about 10 people deep.
Yeah.
They got, 1 or 2 really recognizable brands. They have a lot of, non-recognizable regional and local brands, but they do good work.
Yeah.
So that's a good fit maybe if they don't have your capability in-house.
For sure. And it's not a bad idea to target people that you could add more value and more polish to their spots.
Yeah.
That's never a bad idea. So you're like, you see their stuff, it's pretty decent, but you're like, hey, I could add a little flair to that, and I could add a little character. Hit them up,
Because I think, everybody it's all trust. And so for somebody to use you, they're taking a gamble. They're taking a leap of faith to say, I'm going to give up this thing that is known and is trusted to me. I know what I'm going to get out of this. It might only be B level, but I know it's going to be strong B level.
For sure.
For me to take a chance to maybe get at A level with this new person. I know what I'm getting over here. Or maybe it's A work. Like, I know I'm going to get A work over here. This is the person I've used for 5 years.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take a chance. But I can
kind
of...
That's the risk us freelancers take.
Yeah, but I see where companies and agencies come from. And, Adam, maybe you can speak as well, from your angle. But I the same thing, I get people that hit me up all the time, DPs and, editors and other people who, hey, check out my reel, check out my stuff. And unless I'm blown away, I don't want to take the risk of bringing them in on a project when I've got great resources like you guys. You
don't touch anything that's not going to blow away everything else. And, in our situations, it's the same. Like, so you look at the people you hire the same way that you're viewed as people who hire you. And I think I said it last week is the most important question I think that anyone ever asked me, and the first time it got asked of me as Sound Images, that threw me off. They said, "So when should we call you?" And I'm like, and we're pretty full service here, but what they're asking me to say is, "What's your thing you're good at?" Because that's what I'm going to remember. And the minute that comes up, I'll call you.
Yeah.
When should I call you? And it's like, my answer, at that time, it caught me off guard so much, and it was a great learning experience for me, is I need to define that.
Yeah.
I need to go after that, and then it'll start to make more sense to everybody else once it makes sense to me. And don't cast your net so wide.
No, nobody wants a jack of all trades.
Yeah, you don't need to be that. You need to be. This is what I call them for.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it can be different, and sometimes it's different to different people. I know certain people always call. They always call just for voiceover.
Yeah.
Certain people only call for music. Certain people only call for this, and it's being available for that. But it's still understanding. Be able to answer that question first.
For sure.
And if you're having trouble finding work being something so broad, you're doing it. Brandon, you're doing it amazing by understanding the industry, by understanding the client, by understanding this, and go, that's what fits us. That's smart, and and anybody down the line. So if it's and Audio Network said it last week. For a producer, for a musician, be good at that one thing. Yeah. We know when to call you.
Exactly.
And that's I think you can apply that to life
everywhere
across the board. Yeah.
They don't want someone that does jazz and metal and hip hop and they want a jazz guy. You're a jazz guy. Do jazz well.
Unless you do jazzle.
Jazz.
That'd be sweet. I know as a
jazz pop.
As a multi-instrumentalist, I could tell you I am not a master of any of them, and all of them falter because I play too many.
Yeah.
So.
Hey.
So anyway, speaking of what you do, what are you doing right now, Alex? As a DP, what are you working on? Anything specific that you guys?
So I'm doing, talking about every once in a while. We had Brad Gollin on the show a while back. We're doing a music video. By the time our listeners hear this, I'll probably be wrapping it up on Friday, and we're shooting at the same house that we did Daniel and Siri, the short.
Cool.
Yeah. So abandoned house. We have to supply all the power, all the lighting, all the everything. Should be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a band. I'm not gonna say the name. I'm not gonna say the
Metal?
song. No, it's more of
Pop?
kind of alternative. Yeah.
All right.
Maybe leaning more towards the rock, hardcore type stuff, but it's more palatable and more general. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds
What
good.
about you, Adam?
Daniel and Siri's in my lap this week.
Ha!
So that's hope to be wrapping that on Friday. So
Sweet.
got mixed with that. Got another short that I'm really excited about that we're working on. I don't know if I can say the name of it just as of yet. So
What's
really
genre, tone, anything like that you can tell?
awesome
Really?
is the genre.
Cool.
Yeah, no, it's a we'll call it a documentary for now.
All right.
Cool, man.
Sweet, man.
Documentary.
We'll get it.
So,
Speaking of
Some new stuff.
Speaking of short, I want to chime in. We did have we had some people write in, some listeners, and one of the listeners was actually talking about short films. So
Oh, yeah.
this is from an anonymous writer who says, "Random question." So I figured this is a great time.
Perfect.
I'm segueing to the
Yeah.
It's not so random now, is it?
No.
What do you think classifies a short film?
Length?
I see a lot of people posting random collages of video they shot a certain location and calling it a short film. Seems fishy. I feel like you need to be
Agreed.
telling a story of some sort. What do you filmmakers think? Thank you,
I agree
Anonymous.
with Adam. Length. I mean, there are, that's what I'm looking for, specific definitions based on film festivals.
Yeah, are
distribution,
you
everything
going
about what a short is?
Yeah,
It's
if you're-
under 50 minutes is a short.
Yes.
51 minutes and above is considered a feature.
Now,
No,
if it's
usually 72 minutes is considered a feature.
If you look at
Depends on the festival.
I'll just say Sundance guidelines.
I think Sundance is 72.
No,
Look that up.
I can't. My phone's off.
Okay. I'm thinking it might be.
Go ahead.
So,
But I'm just
but-
telling you, under 50 is definitely
but what defines it as
might
a
be under
short?
40.
I would say, honestly, it's asking for the definition of art, right? So art could be
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
much
yeah.
anything.
it's a collage
And
of
if it's
images.
just a collage of images that make no sense, then technically, yeah, it's a short film, but it could be a very bad short film,
It could be.
right? So
But again, going with the whole art theme, there are probably some paintings like some
Yeah,
Jackson
it's
Pollocks and
subjective.
stuff that you look at and you're like, what? Does
Yeah.
this mean anything, or is it just
Yeah.
splashes of color and texture?
Yeah.
But to the artist, it was an outlet and a
So if
means something.
then you take a step back and say, what's
art?
the motivating factor behind any of it to say to evoke some emotion, then there you go.
if it did that,
even if that emotion is absolute disgust, it probably did its job.
Yeah.
So
if that collage of images inspired you to say, "Whoa, look at that grass and flowing flowers and sunflare,"
never coming to this theater again.
Sweet.
It evoked emotion.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it is subjective. So there's no real way to know.
I think the defining factor is length, though.
Yeah, length is definitely it. Is it short?
Yeah. Yep. That's pretty much it.
That's crazy.
So I don't know.
So
we're we've had issues with that too, though. I'll go back to Daniel and Siri with length, with certain festivals requiring a certain length and then preferring an even shorter length. So
they want programmable nuggets.
They want programmable nuggets. They want to be able to put
30,
4, 5, 6 shorts into a block.
And because then they give it a name and they say this showing, this screening.
This is the family drama block.
Yeah, or this is the they'll give it an artful name and they'll say this is color and sound.
Yeah.
This is color and flowers.
After midnight.
Yeah,
or
whatever. And then they put it all together.
Yeah. But when you're like us, ours right now is at just over 30 minutes, like 30 minutes and 31 minutes or something like that with credits. It's a little tougher. You got to be thrown in with maybe an hour and a half long feature, and then now you're a block of a feature and a short, or a short and a feature. So it's kind of weird.
And do you complement that film for them to be put together? And
exactly.
Is it strong enough to hold people's attention before the film that they actually came to see?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, depending on if it could be a nice primer or it's a pretty long primer, but anyway, I guess short is based on length and
definitely
art is subjective and bourbon's good and
So as far as things that are you're stoked about right now, anything that you've seen or heard about or you heard through the grapevine, read in any publications, new gear, new techniques, new stuff, new news, anyone?
There's been some new things. I'm gonna have to keep it bottled up for now. Keep yours out. There might be some manufacturers with some new stuff that might want to hop in the ring here with us, which would be really cool.
Based on your background, I'm going to guess it's about pickup trucks.
Actually, it is. It's a Chevy Avalanche. Hauls gear really well.
We pulled it out of him.
Some microphones. Hopefully got some cool stuff coming
audio
in, which would be
stuff.
cool.
Right.
Yeah, the audio geek stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Alex?
Me. Well, always cameras. I mean, I'm excited. There's also actually some lens manufacturers coming out with some new offerings soon, which is pretty neat. I mean, you got on the budget end of the spectrum, you have the company Rokinon coming out with this new brand or line of lenses called Xeen, Xeen, high speed. So I think T1.5 aperture lenses that fit. I think they're interchangeable backs too. So you can go from PL to EF to Nikon to whatever to fit your different camera platforms. So you got that.
Are these low cost?
They're lower cost, for sure. So I think they're meant to compete with Zeiss CP2s, so the compact prime version 2s. In terms of price, it's like, I don't know, $2,500, something like that. Maybe $2,000 a lens. It might be around $1,500 a lens. So in terms of like cinema lenses, they're very budget friendly, which in my realm, like I don't own any lenses. It's always a rental option because the lenses that I want to use cost so much. Right. You know, if I wanted to own a set of the stuff I usually work with, it's talking $150,000. So there's that Rokinon Xeen, which look really interesting, and then you have this new company called Veydra, Veydra, that are coming out with both a set of Micro Four Thirds primes, and then they're also supposedly coming out with a set of anamorphic lenses, which is pretty cool. And those again are quote unquote budget friendly, around like $3,000, $3,500 a lens. So that's what I'm excited about.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's me, Gear Geek.
I've been perusing our friends over at Videomaker.
Yeah,
and their news section always has some interesting stuff pop up. But I got nostalgic because they are releasing a 4K version of the DVX.
Yeah, 200. It's already out.
It's great.
It's funny you brought that. I was looking at footage of that
because
2 nights ago.
that was like one of the first cameras I ever shot 24p on.
The DVX 100B.
Yeah. And it was like, you thought it was awesome. Like, it was like the coolest thing that ever happened.
Because it wasn't interlaced. It was progressive.
It was great.
Yeah.
And then I just saw and I'm like, oh man,
You should get it.
little sweet spot.
You should just buy it
Yeah,
just for
nostalgia's
sake.
It's got that little. It's all packaged nice and neat. It's all square, and it's got the little handle, the mic.
A fixed
It's ready
zoom
to go,
lens.
man.
You can't take off the lens.
No.
Yeah.
Why would you want to? You're ready to roll.
Does it still record to tape?
That might be awesome.
DV tape?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, but I don't know.
The camera looks cool.
There's some other cool stuff I saw that was on the site there. If you get a chance, check it out.
Yeah.
We should have those guys back on.
Video Maker?
Yeah.
They were great. Yeah, they're always pumping out great content.
See, maybe we can get Mike on the show again.
Yeah, we definitely should do that.
Yeah.
What about Audio Network? They're always coming out with new stuff too.
Oh man, some of their new albums are great. I mean, we had them on the show last week.
Yeah.
Actually, we've got a winner this week. They gave away some stuff.
Yeah, their Audio Network branded Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah,
that people entered for.
So
we picked a winner?
Yeah, let me pull it. Let me find that. We already picked that.
Yeah,
that is going to be one of our longtime listeners, I believe.
Really?
Of the show, and
we do have longtime listeners because we've been on for a long time.
This it goes to
19, right?
Lucky winner goes
19,
to Brandon S. Turner, who is at Unsung Hero Media.
Brandon Turner.
S.
Congratulations,
Turner.
buddy.
Congrats, man.
Awesomeness.
You got a Audio Network branded Bluetooth speaker
Yeah.
that you can listen to your audio on.
Pretty rad.
Yeah.
And
so we'll be reaching out to you and we'll get you that info.
So there you go. Audio Network. Yeah, they're doing cool stuff. I mean,
cool.
It's always fun to hear what they come out with and check out their stuff, and it gives you ideas of what kind of.
I just like their philosophy behind things.
Yeah.
Real instruments,
high production.
Yeah.
Genre
albums
out. Speaking of guests, and you were just talking about lenses.
Oh yeah.
Can we announce that one of our future guests?
Don't announce it yet because we're still working out the details.
All
but
right.
yeah, our listeners should expect
a lens distributor
related guests that can probably illuminate a few questions that we have on certain aspects of the industry as far as rentals go. So yeah, we're not gonna announce it yet, but it's.
I think we just did.
Definitely something.
If you can figure out,
yeah,
we just told you.
Yeah, but there's a lot of cool stuff. I mean, a lot of cool guests coming up. That's just one of them. I mean, we're working on all avenues. I know Adam is. He's kind of hitting the pavement hard on the audio end. Brandon's always hitting the pavement hard, except for now because he's on fall break.
I'm on fall break, but I'm working on some more Bourbon friends, and I'm working on some film gear stuff. I do know for sure at some point on the show we're gonna get the guys over in New Zealand from SERP that do all the camera support stuff,
the magic carpet and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're my favorite. I love them. I think their stuff's killer.
Another New Zealand. Wow.
Yeah, those guys are crazy.
Man, they're just cranking out everything. Yeah. They're just jumping the shark on everything.
Yeah, they're jumping the shack. Jumping the shack.
That's what it is.
Jumping the shack. So,
man. Yeah, actually, you know what I'm excited about? I'm going to flip gears here for a minute. Is Sicario.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring that back up. I'm going to go see that as soon as we're done recording this episode.
Why do you got to rub it in?
Because you're on fall break. So
I want to go
relax.
see it too.
Yeah, well, you can't.
Can't.
You can't.
I got to go home to my family.
You do. Yep.
Is it that bad?
Well, I tried to get my wife to go see it. She just doesn't. She doesn't like violence. She doesn't like zombies. Like basically, I can see
zombies.
there's a handful of movies I can see with my wife.
Oh yeah.
Drama.
Sicario.
Well, non-violent drama.
Sicario.
Rom-coms.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. You know what we've been watching that we watched last night? We started it off, and I was pleasantly delightfully surprised.
The Walking Dead.
Veep.
Ah.
People have been talking about it, and I thought, okay, because I'm scrolling through HBO's list of shows, and I'm like, yep, she won't like that. Nope. Too much blood. Nope. None of that. Nope. She doesn't like vampires. Nope. She doesn't like that. Too much cursing. I'm like, okay, maybe this. And so,
yeah.
We watched it, and we both really liked it.
Well,
It's funny.
what is Veep? I don't even know what that is.
Oh man, Veep is with the girl from Seinfeld.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Elaine.
She is the vice president, and it's like the anti House of Cards. It's like this comedy. It's funny, man. It's this comedy about you never see the president. It's always about the Veep, the vice president,
Nice.
and all of her issues and her team surrounding her. And it's kind of like, in our culture, the vice president gets kind of, like laughed at, right? Like, oh, he's the vice president. He's the goon.
Just
He's
in
just
case.
sitting around.
And this whole show is about the goon, and it's really funny. And she does a killer job. It's hilarious.
Wow.
There's an ongoing bit from the first episode. You pick up on it, where as she walks into her office, she looks at her administrative assistant. She's like, "Did the president call?" And then she's always like, "No." And then she's like, "Okay, thanks." And then she like goes in. So it's like this ongoing thing.
She's just sitting around.
We watched the first episode, and for about the first 5 minutes, I was like, I don't know. Like there was a couple jokes, and I said to my wife, I was like, I think that was supposed to be funny. We didn't really laugh, but then we got through the end of the show. By the time we got halfway through the show, we were really starting to laugh. There was some real funny stuff happening.
Yeah.
And then we continued. We watched like 3 episodes. It's really funny.
Huh.
And I think Kyle Ebersol brought it up that he was watching it.
Oh yeah.
A couple other people have mentioned it.
Veep.
And they won like a bunch of awards.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, let's try it out. And we like it. It's really funny.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fun. So
Dude, that sounds pretty. There's actually one that Chris and I like on Hulu. It's another political comedy show, and the name of it's escaping me right now, but it's got Goodman in it. John Goodman. Do you have any idea what it is? It's like
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's about congressmen. They all live in a house together. Oh God, it's so funny.
We gave up Hulu.
Really?
We weren't really using it.
Yeah. I could see that.
Because we were mainly like if it's just me up late at night, I'm usually on HBO watching something on there or Netflix.
Docs, yeah.
And then the kids are really jamming on Netflix, and the things they do want to watch on Hulu, they don't have the full access to. Like on Cartoon Network, they don't offer We Bare Bears. They don't offer
It's like clips of stuff.
Yeah, they don't have the full deal.
Oh. I think the best two are Amazon Prime, where you get the Amazon Plus.
I hate their interface though.
It does suck, but when you buy the free the 2-day shipping or whatever, you get the video for free. I think that's the best bet, and Netflix.
Yeah.
So
I wish places. I just want everybody to go the HBO route, so that if I wanted to subscribe to Cartoon Network and get all that, I could do that, and then because the kids would watch a lot of that stuff, but I don't know. It's not. We're still not there yet. You know what I mean? Like
it's trending. It's
getting
on
there,
its way, but yeah.
You still got all these things where they're on Apple TV, but you got to have cable to get access to them, and you put in your code in your provider, and it's like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, just charge me for it.
For sure.
Yeah. Let me
And
buy
username
my
and
program.
password.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's something really cool though. The fact that there are all these different outlets. There's Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, HBO, et cetera. It says Showtime has an online thing, Crackle, Vudu, like whatever. All these different things. That's really cool for us. I wouldn't say just us, but filmmakers in general.
Oh yeah.
You have all these different outlets for your content, and I think obviously not. That's the way that it's going.
Yeah, it's good for the market.
Yeah, the cable is shutting down. It's all going to be on demand.
Yep. And they're already in their advertising. All cable companies are pushing now is their access to online.
Exactly.
And all they're saying is TV everywhere. It's all about online. No one's selling cable anymore, which is good. So I just want I want everybody to just make the jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
get on with it. Let's get competitive and bring those prices down. So now instead of, $29.99 a month or $15.99 a month, they got to be competitive and they got to say, well, you can get, USA Network for $5.99 a month. You're going to get Mr. Robot and all these other cool shows. And now we're going to have to make choices. Oh, man. Well, yeah, HBO does have the best stuff, but man, USA is only $5, and I got Mr. Robot.
Yeah, I would be careful though to wish for that. As a consumer, you're right to wish for that, but as a video content creator,
we'd like to get paid at some point.
Yeah, you want those prices high for the consumer so that your product is actually worth something.
Yeah, I understand.
Because you don't want your thing to be worth, 5,000th of a penny per view or whatever.
Yeah, but it's about the same thing happened with the music industry and streaming. It's about the large pot of money. Yeah. Everybody gets paid more when the pot is big. It's easier for you and me to all pay, $9 a month for unlimited music than it is for me to pay $50 a month. I'm not going to pay $50 a month, but I'll pay $9 a month. And if a million other people pay $9 a month, that's a lot of money for everybody to get into.
You're talking about an industry that has crashed.
Yes.
That is trying to figure it out. And
when you look at the artists that are in it, they're making scratch. They're nothing.
The good ones still bubble up. They still. It's just the market has shifted, the model's completely changed, and I mean now you've got on the music side you've got legislation happening, and you've got our IAA stepping up to say, hey, we need to figure this out because it's dying.
Yeah,
it's not working. So hopefully, ideally, it would be wonderful to see music figured out. And everyone else go,
follow
that's
suit.
how we work with royalties and publishing. That's how we work with, what's the price of one set of eyes and one set of ears, I mean, it's crazy to look at its statements from, as an artist, look at statements from Rhapsody and look at statements from TuneCore, as your songs are getting streamed to say, Spotify paid me, 1/100th of a penny for these 10 streams when Rhapsody gave me a penny per play.
Yeah.
And we all as artists, as you opt into those, you've signed that contract, you agreed with it at some point in time, so you can't gripe. No. But at the same time, one listen, one pair of ears, one pair of eyes should be a statutory rate.
Yeah.
Say that without screwing it up too, by the way. It's like one T away from But it should be that. So once they figure out what that is, then you can really start, because that's payback to the content creators. That's payback to who put it out there, and then you know your metric. Then you can understand.
But it's always going to be a dance, because at some point you're going to go too high, and then people just won't pay it.
Right,
and then they'll go back to stealing it.
No, I mean, costs are always going to continue to come down. I think it's not. I don't want to wish for it too fast. Like I said, as a consumer,
But there's other ways to make money. I mean, product placement, go on tour. I mean, there's different ways
for an artist, to
make it happen.
Exactly. So for a musical artist, a musician, they can go on tour, and that's where they make, a lot of money.
Yeah, the labels are tied into that now.
Yeah.
Anyway, labels you got a 360 deal.
Exactly.
So labels.
Which, by the way, I watched that. Have you seen that 30 Seconds to Mars documentary?
No, but I bet it's pretty awesome.
Oh my God. Dude, it's unbelievable, and it goes through their whole battle with whoever their record label is, and it's unbelievable. They're like one of the top selling bands in the world, and they're like making nothing.
Yeah,
but it's just really illuminating.
What is it that sued for $30 million or something because they're late for the record? Oh God,
exactly. They had like a 3-record deal, and they're late on the third or fourth or whatever it was.
So I cut guitars with Tomo.
Yeah.
For a thing they did for Palladia, and to talk to him, and this was a little around that time, they're on tour past that.
I'm sure he was just high strung.
It's like, oh my God,
dude,
good luck, guys.
If I knew the name of that documentary, I'd throw it out.
It's wonderful.
Throw it up on the site, dude.
Really,
it's unbelievable.
I think it speaks to kind of how cool those guys are too. Like they're good dudes.
But they also have a huge social presence. So
they also have a front man who does fairly well in the film industry.
I'm
sure he can fund all endeavors.
He's about to play he is playing the Joker in the Suicide Squad coming out.
Nice. He's a boss.
Yeah. But either way, I mean, no,
Jared Leto,
you're right. Like as prices come down, more people enter that online, on-demand market, and then demand
if you have volume,
for sure.
Then there's laws of scale that apply.
Yeah, no, I just want to catch up before everything takes off.
Yeah, I mean it's weird. I mean if you think about any other industry, like if you go to Target and you buy a T-shirt, I mean just think about what went into making that T-shirt, and you're buying it for like
$5 or whatever,
$15.99 or whatever, and it's like
that,
You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. I mean, there's definitely, no matter where you go, there's exploitation, there's mistreatment. I mean, the food industry, obviously, some animals aren't treated as, kindly as others, but yet all of a sudden you're able to buy, a meal for, nothing. It's just like, no matter where you go, there's going to be problems, issues, but ultimately there's it's a price war, and or you're on you're able to live in this higher end world of premium stuff. Is there a place? Do you think there's a place where? So, for instance, is there going to be a place that's going to serve like the Whole Foods of film and music, where it's like for those of you with money in the premium world?
Already that exists.
That's called HBO.
Yeah, HBO right now. That's there. That's the one step up now for the quality consumer.
I guess I'm like upper middle class.
There you are. And
welcome.
According to the filmmakers that are working with HBO, that's like their preferred outlet too, because they're getting the control that they want. Like, it's HBO saying, "Hey, we trust you, to whoever's making the series to go do it yourself and to do like Game of Thrones.
Sure,
we trust you. Do it. We're gonna be kind of more or less hands off. Do what you want, and in a long form TV show, just create."
Yeah.
Do you think there'll be? Do you think it's ever going to go up from there? Do you think people are going to say, "Okay, everybody's on HBO. Let's create this new thing that's more. That's whatever, $100 a month or whatever." I mean, can that be sustained, or like is there a high end? You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's something like
if you think of like wineries or places like like Dolce and Gabbana purses or whatever.
Yeah.
Will that ever translate to the entertainment industry where there's like this little? I guess that's like the opera or
Yeah. My first question would be who's driving the demand on it? Because it would surely be a connoisseur style thing. Someone who has some money, and the question is where what do they want? So I mean you do kind of have something like that on ultra premium levels where you've like people in SAG who will be able to have like screenings on Sunday of things that aren't out yet.
Yeah.
That I'm sure, right? Let's call that a premium. That's more connections premium than anything. But, is there something like that could exist for a very high level of things? Probably. Yeah. But is there a model or outlet between filmmakers and distributors there to make that happen?
I would argue that that's the whole film festival market. I would say that's the high end, really niche art type deal. Is you pay a couple $100 or whatever to
you fly out, you spend the whole week,
and you stay at a cabin in Sundance, and you go to all these films and you spend thousands of dollars. That's the high end.
Yeah, and
you bump into Jared Leto.
Right. That's the allure.
Yeah, and so that's still going to be around, and then you have all the other outlets. I mean, those things eventually get distribution, then end up on Netflix or HBO or whatever.
For us at the bottom.
Yeah, but I think there's kind of a middle ground, which I think is kind of cool. Some theater chains are doing this like movie pass deal where you pay $50 a month or whatever it is, and you can see unlimited movies up to one movie a day at that theater.
That's cool.
Really?
Yeah. Have you not heard of this?
No.
It's pretty sweet.
Where at? Do you got it?
No. I mean, a couple friends that I'm friends with on Facebook from college and stuff have been posting. They're out in L.A., which I think is going to carry across. Yeah. I haven't seen it out here in Cincinnati. But yeah.
That'd be cool if you could co-share it. Like if the three of us could get one and then swap.
I think that's the issue, though, is it's like Netflix or something where they don't want you sharing the password.
Yeah.
You wouldn't share the card.
But see, that's where, unlike HBO, who was giving it away because they want more people to.
Yeah, but that was an initial
kind of stunt.
It was a stunt for sure. They wanted people to get hooked on HBO Now and then purchase HBO for their home TV on the cable service for a lot of money. But this, I think, is pretty ingenious because I see. I know you and me.
Yeah,
yeah. Don't point over here.
Not you. You watch kids TV shows. You do too.
I
but
will one day.
We see a lot of movies in theaters. It's as research.
I probably see more at home, but I rent them. A lot of them are iTunes. They're not free Netflix or not free. I mean, not prepaid Netflix.
Yeah. But I'm saying if you could pay $50 a month or whatever it is and see the movie in theaters the day it comes out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, I think it's pretty darn cool.
Yeah, to me, there's a certain type of film that I want to go to the theater to see. Yeah, there's other films that I'm like, I would, I'll never, if I'm not drugged by my son, I'm never going to pay to see a superhero movie in the theater.
Yeah.
And I just won't watch it at home either.
Well, I get you.
We
know this.
Yeah. But, there's other ones too, like something you're just real into, like Straight Outta Compton. I wasn't going to wait for that to come home. Like I wanted to be there. Mm-hmm. I wanted to see it on the big screen.
Yeah. I mean, that's...
Which, by the way, that movie's crushed.
Dude, it's It's just a good movie.
Is it still leading at the box office? It was like 2 weeks ago. It was still the number one movie. Like 3 weeks in a row, it was the number one movie. Yeah, it's still out.
Really?
Yeah,
it's doing that well.
It's at my local theater. Yeah, it was like It was like the number one film in America for like at least 3 to 4 weeks.
Wow. Here, I'm
which is pretty rad. So
I'm gonna pull up some stats on it here. But no, I'm really interested to see that Movie Pass thing come across. I don't know if it's AMC or Regal,
sure,
or whatever it is, but I mean, I would use.
I'd probably do it.
I would use. I
definitely will once my kids are older and I don't have to cart them everywhere like like a cab driver.
Yeah.
Then absolutely. I mean, I would be a pass member all the time. You know what I think I could really enjoy at some point as I get older is I would love to, and maybe I'll just start my own blog or whatever. But I think I could really enjoy doing like movie reviews.
Yeah.
And just having like even if it was like a local paper, just something kind of fun like your point of view. And
mine would be called "I Love Everything."
I really liked that movie. I appreciated
that was just as good as all the movies last week.
Here we go. So Straight Outta Compton, according to Box Office Mojo, which is a great site for film finance stats, lifetime gross $160.699 million.
What'd they spend on it?
Here, I can tell you what the budget was on this site. It's a fantastic site. If you've never used it, check it out. Production budget was $28 million. And they made,
I'd say they've done well.
Pretty much $161 million. Yeah. They say, according to all this stuff, that 2.5 times your production budget is break even after marketing and all that jazz. Smaller movies, you're not going to spend as much on marketing and whatever. So I think they've done that.
They've gone $100 million over their break even.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's great. I hope that gets respect at come Oscar.
And what's cool to see in most movies, like especially big blockbuster movies, you look at the domestic and foreign totals, and the foreign is just like exploded. Like that's where the a lot of huge movies that have a wide appeal, that's where they make their money. Straight Outta Compton has made $160 million domestic and only $35 million foreign.
Yeah, because they don't get it.
Well,
it's not their story.
Yeah.
But it's just cool to see like these kind of movies that actually mean something to us doing well.
It'll be interesting to see how Sicario does.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm hearing nothing but good things. Although the people in Juarez were a little frustrated. They were like,
really
boycotting,
exposing it.
Well, it was just kind of like, that's not what our city is now, and that's what it was a couple years ago, and they were, didn't want it to be painted in a bad light. So, I mean, I get that, but
yeah, I hear nothing but good things about it. I just got the latest edition of American Cinematographer magazine, and that was the cover. It was Roger Deakins and Sicario, and there are a few really cool sequences supposedly where they shot night vision and thermal vision, and they actually attached those imaging sequences to the cameras.
That's
cool.
Unbelievable. But they used night vision for like 6 members of the team and then thermal for the like boss or whatever. So you could differentiate who's who amongst.
Yeah, I think
it's really
for me, Sicario is going to be one of those 10:30 showings, and I'm going to be like, all right, kids are in bed. See ya.
I'll be back.
I'll tell you how it is. I'm going to
see you later since you don't want to see people get shot.
Yeah. No, I mean it's doing really well though. And
cool,
I love
man.
Everybody involved in that. Which, by the way, so both Deakins and Villeneuve, the director, are teaming up for, which I know you don't care about. You might. I don't know. Blade Runner 2.
Yeah.
I can do Blade Runner 2, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So they're going to do that, which will be
get in there.
Pretty fantastic.
Well, guys, it's been fun, man. It's good catching up. It's been a while since we've been able to just shoot the bull.
Yeah.
I know.
We've
had a lot of guests, a lot of people, a lot of things.
Distractions.
And it's been fun just to hang again. We do want to give away one of our FDB T-shirts. So we definitely always, want to promote that. And this week's winner, if you entered last week, we have a T-shirt to give away. And it is going to another long-time listener, AJ Wendell, the AJ Wendell.
AJ Wendell.
At the AJ Wendell.
Congrats, buddy.
So we'll send you out the shirt. We'll get in touch with you on sizing and everything. If you are listening to the show and you want one of the sweet hand-lettered Filmmakers Drinking Bourbon T-shirts
by Leo Gomez,
which picks up the ladies. You know, people see that shirt and they say, "Man, that looks nice." And what does it mean?
Yeah,
it's a great conversation starter. All you have to do is shout out to us and say, "Hey, FDB Podcast at FDB Podcast." This is on Twitter.
Yep.
Hashtag give me a T-shirt. That's it.
Just tell us.
Simple.
Tell us you want it.
And what we really would appreciate you guys to do as well, if you like what you're hearing, if you like the banter that you hear, if you like the guests that come to the show, if you like the giveaways, just do us a small favor. Right now, take 3 minutes of your time, log into your iTunes account, and go to podcasts, search for Filmmakers, search for Bourbon, search for
there, top
Filmmakers
5.
Drinking Bourbon. You'll see us pop up. Click on that and just give us a rating. We'd love to get a 5-star rating from you if that's possible, if you enjoy the show. And give us a review. Let us know why you like the show. What is it about the show you like? And
what do you want to hear coming up?
Tell other people why this is a good listen.
Because it is.
Because we think it is. And, as we grow and as we get more listens and as we get more awareness, we'll be able to bring you guys A-level guests, A-level giveaways. And
more giveaways.
Just have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
good stuff.
So anyway. Nowhere but up.
Yep.
So check us out online at ftbpodcast.com, where we always have the latest and greatest links of all the guests we have on the show, a lot of the things we mention on the show. Follow us on Twitter. Instagram at FTB Podcast, Twitter at FTB Podcast. We're out there, man.
We are.
We are a thing.
Getting it done.
So
nothing but good things to come, man.
And so, hey, guys, to a great pour of Yellowstone and some great great time hanging out.
Yeah, plastic bottle, plastic glasses.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
This podcast was recorded live at Sound Images Studio. Find out more at soundimages.com.